You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You have me suicidal, suicidal when you say it's oh man. Rapper Sean Kingston and his mother have been found guilty of fraud. Welcome back to SoFlo TV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. You see all them something here now? This is why I always say, work hard for what you want, don't grudge people for them things, and stay in your own lane and live within your own means. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses and these kind of things. You know what? At the end of the day, this too shall pass. And before I even start giving you the details, I take no pleasure in doing this. I think watching black people celebrate the downfall of other black people is something that should be studied. I don't see anybody else doing it except for us. Were they wrong in what they did and how they did what they did? A court and jury pool thought so. Okay, do we need to celebrate their downfall though? I'm not that type. Anyways, Sean Kingston and his mother, Janice Turner, they were accused of defrauding multiple businesses to the tune of 1 point something million in 2024 alone. And now they must pay for what they did, according to the courts. Rapper Sean Kingston and his mother were found guilty on all counts in the federal wire fraud in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, USA, on Friday. They faced 5 counts of wire fraud. Each count carries up to 20 years in prison. You can do the math. 5 times 20 equals, okay, are they going to get that many years? I highly doubt it. But are they going to do time behind bars? Absolutely. So this is more like Sean Kingston and his mom are heading to prison. That's what this is. Now, Sean Kingston, whose real name is Kashawn Anderson, and his mother, Janice Turner, they were accused of defrauding a jewelry business, a luxury bed company, big expensive bed to sleep on, a luxury and exotic car dealership, and a luxury micro LED TV company, the arrest warrant said. They defrauded a handful of businesses. A jury delivered the convictions after 3.5 hours of deliberation. Sean Kingston, who is now 34 years old, he was ordered to be confined to home arrest with electronic monitoring, which means he will wear an ankle monitor until the day of his sentencing. He must also post a surety bond of a home that is valued at $500,000, plus he must pay $200,000 in cash up front, according to the courts. I'm not paying that money. If I'm going to prison, at this point, you might as well just say, take me in and get it started. Because what are you waiting at home for? Filled with anxieties, waiting for them to call you in and tell you today you're getting sentenced after you paid $500,000 up front and $200,000 in cash. Save that money for when you get out. That's $700,000. Anyways, Janice Turner, now Sean Kingston's mother, she was remanded into custody immediately after the verdict was read. Both are scheduled to be sentenced on July 11th of 2025, right when the summer is starting. You know, summertime nice, especially in Florida, Summertime is when you want to be at the beach, you want to be at the barbecues, go out every now and then, go eat dinner and go to a club and enjoy yourself and feel the nice warm air out. They won't be doing any of that. They'll be getting sentenced soon as summer starts. As the verdicts were read on Friday, Sean Kingston and his mother started crying together. When they read the verdict, Sean Kingston and his mom started crying together. and started wiping away tears together. I could only imagine her saying, "We're going to prison," and him saying, "Yep, we are going to prison." Sean Kingston was arrested in Fort Irwin, California in May of 2024 on a warrant that was issued by the Broward County Sheriff's Office in Florida after a SWAT team raided his house in Southwest Ranches in a community in Broward County. He was not in around his house at that time. He was out in California doing a show. Sean Kingston still tours. He still does live performances. He still collects a check performing. You know, a lot of people think, oh, he had 2 hits back in the day and he never did anything again. And he's still trying to live the superstar life. Well, he had 2 massive hits back in the day, which he is still collecting residual checks off of to this day. And those are big checks. Not only that, he is still working in his field. So because somebody doesn't have a hit song on the radio currently, it doesn't mean that their career was over. They're just not at the top of the charts anymore, right? So Sean was out in California doing a paid performance, big gig too. And while his house was being raided in Florida, his mom was at the house at the time, and his mom was arrested at the house at the time. Then Sean was picked up right after he got finished performing in California. Can you imagine you going on stage to perform, right? They paid you for this gig, so you can't go up there and act like your problems mean anything. You got to go up there and give the people what they paid for, knowing that there's a SWAT team and there are sheriffs sitting in the audience waiting for you to finish your performance. Waiting for you to finish your performance so they can arrest you. A federal grand jury indicted the pair in July of 2024. The indictment accused Sean Kingston of using his celebrity influence and social media accounts to convince sellers of luxury foods to deliver items, or luxury goods rather, to deliver items before payments were made. If you're wondering why his mom was taken into custody immediately after the verdict was read on Friday, but he was allowed to go, it is because he paid that money and he was allowed to go, but it's a temporary allowed to go. It's kind of like go home, go put everything in order because we're going to be gone for a while kind of thing. His mother, they said they took her into custody because she has a history of this same type of crime. She served time before for scamming. So the scheme that they did went on for a few years until March of 2024 is what the indictment paperwork said. Said they've been scamming for years, and they've been scamming on $1 million level for years. In 2024 alone, they raked in over $1.5 million. Right. According to the paperwork. This ain't me. Some people be in your comment section trying to curse you out. I'm reading from news media in the United States of America, paperwork that was released, indictment paperwork, and arrest affidavit that was released to the media by law enforcement. So the pair had pleaded not guilty on all counts. Well, they got found guilty on all counts. His mom's lawyer, Humberto Dominguez, said during closing arguments on Friday that she was just trying to protect her son from people who were after his money. And she had been suspicious of the TV installer, of the 2 jewelers, of the car dealership. She was just suspicious of all the people that were dealing with him with all the stuff that they got accused of swindling, taking, not paying for kind of thing. It wasn't that they were stealing. This is her attorney's excuse to the courts. It wasn't that they were stealing. It was she protecting her son from people who were after his money. The lawyer actually said, this is a case about a woman's intuition. So after telling Judge David S. Leibowitz that he wanted to speak his truth, that's what Sean said. I want to get up there on a stand and I want to speak my truth. He said that earlier in the proceedings. Later on, as the whole thing progressed, he ended up changing his mind and deciding not to testify. Sean Kingston was allowed to post bond and to remain out of jail until his sentencing, partly because he made the decision to remain silent, the federal judge said in court. Wow. He was allowed to post bond and remain out of jail until his sentencing, partly because he made the decision to remain silent. So, in other words, if he had got up and said anything in the courts, the judge probably could have looked at it as, you know, you're wrong and you're being wrong and strong, and you're still to the end trying to scam the courts then. How about you just say, I'm sorry, what we did was wrong, plead guilty, go on and do your time. So partly, if that's what would have happened, they would have took him into custody as well. For the people who are saying, Sean Kingston broke, him not have no money, please explain to me how he was able to pay that $700,000. It's $500,000 surety bond on a property that is worth $500,000 and $200,000 in cash. Okay, that don't sound like somebody that's broke to me. Leibowitz, the judge, said that Sean Kingston's mother's testimony, which he said amounted to obstruction, was a factor in his decision to remand her into federal custody immediately as the verdict was read. He said that the mom's testimony makes it impossible to believe that she wouldn't do anything for her son. Interesting. Sean Kingston and his mom, they hugged as they were taken into federal custody. They gave each other a hug. They cried. And he left the courtroom because he was allowed to walk out, putting that money up. He thanked the judge for his fairness also. The Jamaican-born artist did not speak to the media as he left court in a Lamborghini Urus SUV. Listen, I don't know if Sean was actually born in Jamaica. I was told at one time, long time ago, that he was actually born in the United States of America, but partially raised in Jamaica. And then I'm being told now that in this article that he was born in Jamaica. So again, nobody don't jump down my throat or jump on my back for this one. I wasn't there when he was born. I don't know where he was born at. I'm not a close friend of the family or anything. I'm giving you the information that was released to us. He was 17 years old when his hit single, Beautiful Girls, was released in 2007. That hit single topped the Billboard Top 100 charts, went all the way to number one, and it actually stayed there for 4 weeks straight. The single showcased Sean Kingston's hybrid singing, rapping kind of style, part of a Jamaican tradition that underlies the origins of hip hop over the musical track of Stand By Me by Benny King. Its video surpassed 1 billion views on YouTube in 2022, and this is information according to Billboard. That one single took Sean Kingston around the world, okay, and also put him in the company of A-list celebrities who he became good friends with, like Justin Bieber and others. His other big single was with Justin Bieber. I believe it's called Eeny Meeny or something like that. With that said, even Justin Bieber has separated himself from Sean Kingston over the years because of these same things. It came out years ago that he was name dropping in order to get things. So he would walk into a jewelry store. There's a story of him swindling a watch, and the watch was like $230 something thousand. and he would say names like Justin Bieber. And I can get Justin Bieber to come shop here. Me and him got a song together. Look it up. And they'll look it up and they'll see him with Justin Bieber. And they'll be like, all right, just pay down $5,000 on the watch and you can take it and then give us the rest whenever, right? By the end of this date. And he would like pay the $5,000 and walk off with a $235,000 watch and wouldn't pay anything more. And he kept on doing stuff like that. So it got back to Justin Bieber that his name was being used in all these scams. And they said the word on Hollywood streets is that this is the reason why Justin Bieber never worked with him anymore. And this is the reason why Justin Bieber separated himself from him. They used to hang out. They used to be chilling with each other. He was a part of the in circle. Don't know how true all that is, but I do know for a fact that Justin Bieber did part ways with him, and that was the story that broke. It's sad to see mother and son heading off to prison. I think it's very interesting what the judge said. The judge said it was her testimony, his mom testimony, the fact that she got up and spoke, that made him take her into custody immediately after the verdict was read. And it was the fact that he decided to not say anything, even though he said he wanted to speak his truth. That was the deciding factor where the judge decided, I'll let him out on bail until sentencing. End of the day, end of the story. Sean Kingston and his mom found guilty on 5 counts of fraud, going to federal prison. They will be sentenced July 11th of 2025. I'll end this video by saying this. Again, same message. Work hard for what you want. Every mickle make a muckle. Don't make nobody make you feel bad for what you do for a living. Scrape in your pennies, stack your dollars. Don't judge or grudge anybody for what them have, because you don't know what they had to do to get it and you don't know what they are doing to keep it. All right? Stay in your lane and live within your means. That's the message. And again, this too shall pass. I'll catch y'all on the next video. It's SoFlo TV. I'm out. Peace.